Bonjour à tous, bonjour Jean-Luc et bonjour Jagdish Joypal qui est avec nous en studio, auditeur internaute bonjour, private notice question leader de l'opposition accès aujourd'hui, le case Vimen Leaks, Xavier-Luc Duval peut adresser au PNQ à Premier ministre, case Vimen Leaks, révélé vendredi, l'hôtel les plus Jean-Luc Émile.
Oui, bonjour Ruth. Alors c'est vrai qu'Ituan Mauricien fait une l'occasion de suivre ça, nous l'antenne, au Télé Plus vendredi soir, et fin choqué par une révélation troublante qui finit là, ma nerveux, qui finit faire aussi par rapport à donc ça dossier là, alors plusieurs dossiers finit évoqué, plusieurs noms cités, des policiers, pas des moindres, finit là l'opération qui finit faire ça va le policier a expliquer. Alors, cette émission, en tout cas, Ruth vient de mettre en lumière un dysfonctionnement de nos systèmes de la police, manière qui les choses passées, comment l'opération faire, donc l'allégation finale au planting, manière qui cela se passe. Donc, ça PNQ là, en tout cas, on espérait que le Premier ministre, qui pour cause pour la première fois sur le sujet, donne un élément d'information, parce qu'il me pensait que le public, quand il écoute tout ça là, envie comprend qui un step qui vous prend par les autorités, le commissaire de police finalement lance l'enquête, mais au niveau du gouvernement, qui l'attitude nous rappelle bien, il y a une commission d'enquête qui fait une blâme là-dessus, qui fait une demande, démantèlement là-dessous. Donc qui le Premier ministre pour répondre pour une occasion, écoute ça dans un petit moment.
Donc, question leader de l'opposition, parmi ce bonne question, il peut demander Pravin Jagnat s'il ne prend connaissance de mon enregistrement sono qui est publié vendredi 9 juin et qui contenait de graves allégations contre certains officiers de police en service, y compris ban senior officers Jagdish Joypal.
Bonjour Ruth, Jean-Luc, bonjour, auditeurs et internautes, bonjour également. Oui, Xavier Duval, leader de l'opposition donc dans le Parlement ce matin, peut dire également Premier ministre si pour l'enquête concernant une allégation avec donc une enquête avec pour objectif faire proposition pour remplacer la brigade antidrogue comme enfin recommandé par la dernière commission d'enquête sur la drogue présidée par l'ancien juge Lam Changlin. Et l'autre aspect, Xavier Duval, vous les connaissez, si après ça l'enquête là, on a également un remplacement Special Striking Team qui fait créer récemment par le commissaire de police. Alors, certainement une question d'importance nationale, avec c'est la pertinence surtout qui nous vous inquiéter. Quelle est la réponse, qui réponse Premier ministre pour donner après diffusion en bande sonore, sa réponse là, donc Premier ministre, il peut situer la prise de position du gouvernement d'abord et ensuite la position de la police concernant certains officiers qui supposément ils développent un rapprochement, une proximité avec trafiquants la drogue. Et Xavier Duval lui-même l'a qualifié à la situation de grave vendredi soir d'un communiqué après qui la bande sonore est diffusée sur Télé Plus et la presse aussi in faire état du contenu de ce qui est là dedans. Est-ce que la mafia a infiltré la force policière? C'est pas toute la force policière qui visait certains éléments. Et ça aspect-là, la réponse du Premier ministre est important. Alors, jusqu'à l'air, concernant cette bande sonore, finalement, du côté de la police, une première réaction, c'est le chef de communication de la police qui finit dire, et finit mettre en garde, qui le commissaire de police fait mettre en garde tout ban policier qui commettent tout acte illégal, alors il n'y a pas pour hésiter pour prendre une action contre eux. Et là, nous guettons un peu dans quel contexte le Premier ministre, est-ce qu'il vous donne sa question-là une tournure politique ou bien c'est ce devoir surtout guette le côté général et le côté d'importance nationale.
Le point bien important, je dis, parce que là, nous retrouvons une situation quand la police fait enquête sur la police. Et donc, il finit tout le temps décrier sa situation-là, besoin qu'il y ait une autorité indépendante, capable, parce qu'il y a un policier qui peut faire l'enquête, je suis aussi en ce moment, demande qu'est-ce que Bandimoun impliqué dans, allons dire, sa bande sonore là. C'est un groupe fait l'enquête, c'est un groupe travail, et donc pour la sérénité de l'enquête, je pense qu'il pour besoin d'une question de l'opposition, pour demander si Bandimoun là pour step down dans le but de permettre l'enquête continuer en toute indépendance, et le Premier ministre pour besoin donc répondre sa question là, mais aussi donc, et l'autre, l'aspect qui est extrêmement important, là, sa question, est-ce qu'il peut demander l'aide d'un pays étranger, une organisation internationale, pour venir donner un coup de main pour faire l'enquête, parce qu'il est vrai que ça m'a allégation-là, fin de faire, et nous pouvons tourner autour de même du monde qui causait dans ce bande sonore-là, bande du monde qui est impliqué, d'autres même à la fois qui peut faire l'enquête, d'autres même à la fois qui judge and party au final.
Reste toujours au centre
de tout ça. Donc, pour les incapables, et après, bien évidemment, pour qui du monde fait confiance, pour que du monde croit dans l'indépendance de la police, bien qui ça l'enquête-là, lui-même, sorti entre les mains des casernes centrales et qui a l'autorité fait aller pour capable.
Mais nous rappelle
Donc,
aussi
il y a
que
un
dans le
résultat.
passé, le Premier ministre est parti d'accord pour démanteler là-dessous. Donc, à aucun moment, Pravin Jagnat fin donne l'aval pour démanteler là-desssus. Au contraire, SST, nous finissons une nouvelle unité qui appelle SST qui peut enquêter lui aussi.
Oui. Et à ce stade, nous pouvons suivre dans la presse et à la radio également, nous constatons que depuis 2 semaines, le commissaire de police, soi-disant, il a institué une enquête pour guetter qui supposé officier impliqué. Pas fini non rien à ce stade concernant cet aspect. Xavier Duval, dans ce communiqué, ce message d'une adresse au pays vendredi, il peut proposer qui peut-être un pays comme l'Angleterre, la France, l'Amérique pour disposer et de nous envoyer un enquêteur pour guetter surtout Jean-Luc évoque sa question la police enquête la police. Ça c'est un autre aspect comment pour faire. Ensuite finalement le point de vue légal qui peut exprimer depuis samedi matin après la diffusion de la bande sonore. Un aspect, c'est que le directeur des poursuites publiques, est-ce qu'il y en a le droit constitutionnel institué une enquête. Les avocats, Adja Debi par exemple, qui finissent étroitement liés avec la commission d'enquête RO, ils disent que comme ça, en principe, il y a une commission d'enquête indépendante. Anil Gayan, il intervenir, il y a un ancien ministre de la Justice, lui aussi, il peut dire qu'il y a une commission d'enquête indépendante. Et l'autre aspect, c'est qu'il y a une enquête rapide pour situer les responsabilités, aller beaucoup plus vite. Et sa question de droit constitutionnel là, moi-même, j'ai eu l'occasion de cause avec un ancien de la du State Law Office, je pensais qu'il, quand il y a un mot d'homme capable d'instituer une enquête judiciaire, comme dans le cas de Kisnen, mais dans ce cas précis, pour bien plus vers une enquête peut-être très indépendante et très rapide.
Mais nous aussi connaissons qu'il y a une limitation, Jack Dish, par rapport à une commission d'enquête. Donc, Pravin Jagnat, même dans l'Assemblée nationale, fin dire qui, quand nous instituons une commission d'enquête, pas nécessairement qui amène à l'arrestation d'un Jimoun.
Donc, Premier ministre fin dit plusieurs fois qu'il n'est pas en faveur de la commission d'enquête parce qu'il s'apprend les temps, il t'a comme chemin, et il écoute beaucoup l'argent. Mais nous connaissons aussi d'ailleurs donc les recommandations de la commission d'enquête de l'Amchanglin qui ban point les fin faire là-dessous. Et comment le Premier ministre vient défendre sa partie-là pour dire qu'il là-dessous pour continuer à finir un PNQ, la question, pas pour démonter là-dessous, pour continuer à opérer. Mais il est un fait, Zodi, qui a un élément-là beaucoup plus grand. Et peut-être nous besoin prendre ce qui finit de passer, cette émission de vendredi, Jagdish, pas prendre en isolation par rapport à tout ce qui finit là ces dernières semaines.
Oui.
Le jugement de la Cour, que finit mettre en lumière les carences de l'institution de la police, de l'ICAC. Donc tout cela fait partie de ça l'aspect donc quand nous ban l'enquête pas peut bien faire quand ban la coupe et vient reproche à la police et à l'ICAC la manière de fonctionner donc le manque de professionnalisme parfois dans la gestion des dossiers donc tout cela bien pas être vu en isolement donc tout cela fait partie de tout ce qui nous pèse là et c'est là qui le Premier ministre peut être attendu donc dans sa réponse pour connaître qui le gouvernement envisage faire, quelles réformes on envisage d'emmener, et comment pour résoudre cette situation et comment pour assainir surtout cette situation au sein de la force policière.
Mais est-ce qu'il y a une véritable volonté politique pour faire tout ça changement-là, Jack Dish?
La volonté, les vient du côté de l'institution, surtout, beaucoup plus la politique, là, le Premier ministre, le gouvernement, l'opposition, je peux faire une proposition, l'institution, bien capable de fonctionner. Il n'est pas possible qu'il y ait une institution dormie, alors faire une longue enquête pendant 3 mois, 6 mois, plus longue qu'il y a une commission d'enquête, et après, pas trop bon résultat. Dans ce cas précis, là, il y a 2 arrestations à ce jour. Donc, dans l'affaire Sabapati. Et là, cette affaire de Sabapati, nous pouvons être qui Premier ministre pour expliquer au niveau de ses relations sur le plan local, avec la police, avec des hommes politiques. Alors, après ces 2 arrestations-là, nous pouvons connaître exactement si finalement un pourrissement de la situation à certains niveaux de la police. Alors, l'autre aspect, c'est qu'une arrestation fait à partir d'un téléphone portable, dans l'autre cas, à partir d'un document saisi côté un policier à Vakwa, donc dans sa résidence. Et la question de Xavier Duval, il a d'importance nationale parce qu'il est le moral de la population bien bas, encore toujours plus bas, depuis vendredi, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de Mauriciens pensaient, nous dans l'État policier, nous dans la Gestapo, comment c'était pendant la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, quand l'Allemand, la Nazi, rentre contre quelqu'un, alors faire planting et ensuite faire arrestation. Alors aujourd'hui, il y a ce climat de frayeur. L'autre aspect, c'est rétablir la confiance dans la force policière. Il n'est pas possible qu'aujourd'hui, nous perdions confiance dans la police. Il y a 12 000 éléments qui travaillent. Vous faites un gros travail, mais seulement il y a certains qui exposent la police, la réputation, périmètre en question.
Et justement, il ne fallait pas que l'événement-là, sa situation-là, vienne sape le moral de ban policiers qui fait travail. Parce que depuis vendredi, nous avons beaucoup d'appels, beaucoup de messages de ban policiers qui vraiment disent honté, c'est qu'ils se finissent tendre, c'est qu'ils se peuvent trouver. Et je veux faire ce travail, je n'ai pas envie que sa situation-là continue comme ça. Donc, je dis qu'il y a besoin d'un assainissement de la situation. Il ne fallait pas, c'est-à-dire qu'ils laissent ça aller comment habiter trouver, comment habiter. Et il y a l'enquête fait qu'ils amènent pas les conclusions de l'enquête. Et donc, ce man policier-là, même pour encore plus décourager parce qu'il pas pour montrer qu'il a une volonté pour vraiment sens des choses, amener l'amélioration, mais surtout, régler tout ce système qui finit installé, comme tu peux dire, vendredi depuis longtemps, sous plusieurs gouvernements, manière qui va l'opération faire, l'aspect de l'enquête, sa question de reward money qui donnait, qui incite Jimoun pour l'arrêt de Jimoun pour un casse additionnel. Donc tout cela pour bien capable d'être répondu.
Laissons en direction de l'Assemblée nationale. D'un petit moment, nous poursuivons la private notice question du leader de l'opposition, Xavier Duval, qui est adressée au Premier ministre.
Announcements none. Papers have been laid. Question.
Mr. Speaker, the question is asked of the Honourable Prime Minister, Minister of Defence, Home Affairs and External Communications, Minister of Rodrigues, Outer Islands and Territorial Integrity, whether he will state if he has taken cognizance of recordings published in the media on Friday 9th June purporting to contain serious allegations against a number of serving police officers, including senior police officers, and if so, state if consideration will be given for assistance to be sought from friendly countries, A, to inquire into these allegations, and B, with a view to eventually recommending proposals for a more effective structure to replace the ADSU, as recommended in the report of the Commission of Inquiry on Drug Trafficking, and as well as the recently created Police Headquarters Special Striking Team.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition has, in his private notice question, himself qualified the accusations allegedly made against certain police officers as allegations. And Mr. Speaker, sir, allegations are always subject to verifications and investigations by the competent authorities. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that on Wednesday, 3rd May 2023, at 12:20 hours, along La Poudrière Street, near Sir Abdul Razak Mohammed SSS, Port Louis, following intelligence and lengthy surveillance operation, the Special Striking Team, having reasonable suspicions of drug trafficking, intercepted a private van, make Ford Raptor, color grey, driven by one Mr. V.S., age 39, director, residing at Avenue Victoria, La Caverne Vacua. The search was carried out in his presence, during the course of which the following was secured from the vehicle. 1. Around 10 kilo of heroin, having a street value of around 155 million rupees, and a sum of 27,575 rupees. Mr. V.S. was arrested, and on the same day, a search was carried out in his presence, in his dwelling at Avenue Victoria, La Caverne Vacua, where jewelry and certain documents were secured. The next day, that is, on Thursday, 4th of May 2023, a provisional plaint was lodged against Mr. V.S. before the District Court of Port Louis, where he was provisionally charged for 1. Drug dealing with aggravating circumstances, that is, possession of heroin for the purpose of distribution with the averment of trafficking in breach of sections 31F2, 41, 3, 4, subparagraph 3 and subparagraph 4, and 47, section 47, subparagraph 2, subparagraph 5, A and B of the Dangerous Drugs Act. And 2, money laundering in breach of sections 39, subparagraph A1, A2, and section 47, subparagraph 2, 5A, and section 48 of the Dangerous Drugs Act. I am further informed that police objected before the court to his release on bail, and he was remanded to police cell. He again appeared in court on 11th, 18th, and 25th of May, and on 1st and 8th of June 2023. He will appear in court anew on 15th of June 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am also informed that in the course of inquiry, 33 persons, including Mr. V.S. and Dr. N.R., have been interrogated, and so far, only Mr. V.S. has been arrested and 3 statements have been recorded from him. The inquiry is still in progress. Concurrently, the Office of the Commissioner of Police has, by way of a letter dated 9th of May 2023, referred the case file to the Independent Commission Against Corruption for an in-depth inquiry into alleged case of money laundering. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed that on Friday, 30th of May 2023, an application was served on the Commissioner of Police through the Attorney at Law, Mr. P.T., before the Supreme Court for an order directing and ordering the Commissioner of Police to remove the team known as Special Striking Team and all its officers who were currently conducting the inquiry into the case of Mr. V.S. A pen drive was attached to the application. The case was returnable for 5th of June 2023. On 1st of June 2023, the assistance of the Attorney General's Office was sought to assist the police during the proceedings, and on 5th of June 2023, the Supreme Court was informed that the application was being registered and an affidavit will be filed. The case has now been fixed for the 19th of June 2023 for an affidavit to be filed. Following the receipt of the application and pen drive, an inquiry has been initiated at the level of major crime investigation team to gather information and evidence on the allegations made in the pen drive. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Friday, 9th of June 2023, as from 1800 hours, a program co-presented by Mr. NN and Mr. JLE with Mr. KT as guest was streamed on Teleplus and Defi Media entitled Vimen Leaks, La Bande Sonore Explosive. During the course of the program, the contents of a pen drive alluding to alleged malpractices by some officers of the Anti-Drug and Smuggling Unit Special Striking Team were aired live. On 10th of June 2023, after taking cognizance of the contents of the program, a police communique was issued by the Office of the Commissioner of Police, which inter alia invites Mr. NN to hand over the said pen drive to the police for investigation. Furthermore, on the same day, an inquiry has been initiated into the matter by the CCID. Related to this case, Mr. NN has been convened at the CCID today at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am also informed that on 8th of June 2023, at 8:49 hours, Mrs. DS, the wife of Mr. VS, left his clothing at the Line Barracks Detention Center. At 19:40 hours, on the same day, following certain information, police carried out a search at Line Barracks Detention Center and secured a mobile phone, make Nokia color blue, near cell number 1, which is occupied by detainee Mr. VS. Same has been secured as exhibit and is being examined by the IT unit of the police. During the course of inquiry, on 9th of June 2023, one police constable, PG, was arrested in connection with the case. He appeared before bail and remand court on 10th of June 2023 and has been remanded to police cell up to 12th of June 2023. Inquiry is ongoing in this case as well. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Commissioner of Police has set up the Special Striking Team in August 2022 so as to enable the police to maintain its momentum in the fight against crimes, including drug trafficking. The Special Striking Team is not meant to replace or to substitute any other unit within the police force, but instead, its role is to complement the other adjuncts of the force in the fight against crimes and, in particular, drug trafficking. Hence, as it is the case for other units, the goal of the Special Striking Team is to improve the reactive capability of police through prompt responses to crime situations, thereby meeting the justified expectations of the community and providing a high level of service delivery. And since its coming into operation, a Special Striking Team, which is headed by an Assistant Superintendent of Police, has since its setting up on 3rd of August 2022 to date, arrested 58 persons in respect of 81 cases. The total street value of drugs seized is approximately 355 million rupees. Mr. Speaker, sir, as indicated in the communique issued by the Commissioner of Police, an inquiry has already been initiated by the police into the allegations made. The inquiry has been entrusted to the Major Crime Investigation Team, which is a specialized unit of the police. Depending on the outcome of the preliminary investigations, the police may refer the matter to the Independent Police Complaints Commission for any action deemed necessary. Mr. Speaker, sir, in accordance with Section 71(4) of the Constitution, the responsibility for determining the use and controlling of the operations of the police force is vested in the Commissioner of Police. I wish to add that, except for the provisions in Section 71(3) of the Constitution, the Commissioner is not in the exercise of the powers and functions of his office with respect to the use and operational control of the force subject to the direction or control of any person or authority. Hence, the Commissioner of Police has deemed it fit not to dismantle the ADSU, as this would have created an institutional vacuum. The ADSU has instead been reorganized and reinforced by a new team, and other officers have joined to replace others who have been transferred. Furthermore, it is also supported in its tasks by the SST and other units of the police force. There is a close collaboration between the ADSU and the Special Striking Team insofar as sharing of information and resources are concerned. It is to be noted that the ADSU has carried out a number of successful operations leading to arrest and significant seizures. Mr. Speaker, sir, furthermore, with a view to strengthening regional collaboration in our fight against illicit activities, my office has renewed its bilateral collaboration with Réunion Island through the Groupe de Contact with a view to combating, amongst others, drug trafficking, illegal immigration, and money laundering around our two borders and exclusive economic zones. The last meeting of the Groupe de Contact, which was led by the Secretary for Home Affairs from the Mauritian side and comprising, amongst others, the Commissioner of Police, was held in Réunion Island on 6th of June 2023. The Réunion side was headed by the Préfet de la Réunion and the French ambassador in Mauritius. The opportunity was also taken for the legal representatives of the Attorney General's office and that of Réunion Island to explore the possibility of enhancing collaboration and streamlining the exchange of information with regards to legal matters pertaining in particular to drug trafficking between our two parties. In the same regional context, the ADSU has also developed contacts in Madagascar, Seychelles, South Africa, and it also collaborates with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Drug Enforcement Administration in USA, of the USA, and the National Crime Agency of the UK. I also wish to inform the House that in March 2022, I had discussion with the Director General of the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office of UK regarding the area of cooperation between the Mauritius Police Force and British authorities, including capacity building in information and intelligence analysis, as well as crime investigation. As the House is aware, we have also bilateral relations with countries such as France, UK, India, USA, and if need be, we may seek any form of assistance from them. It is also to be noted that a memorandum of understanding on cooperation on crime prevention and drug control has been signed between the UN Office on Drugs and Crime and the Republic of Mauritius on 28 April 2018. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have on many occasions in this August Assembly reaffirmed my unflinching commitment and that of my government to relentlessly fight and win the war against drug barons. In our zero-tolerance approach to clean our country of drug trafficking, my government is leaving no stone unturned to track down drug peddlers and those associated with the drug mafia. My government is also fulfilling its duty to protect our citizens, especially our young people, from the drug scourge. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are well aware of the adverse impact of illicit cultivation, trafficking, production, and abuse of drugs on the island. The response of my government to the drug scourge in Mauritius has constantly and consistently being guided by strategic interventions with a view to reducing supply and demand. Despite the growing drug challenge, my government has made important strides in addressing the drug problem. My government has embarked itself in the fight against this scourge by adopting a multifaceted approach which covers all diverse aspects of the problem, including actions in the areas of health, education, and public safety, amongst others. My government has set a series of policies and actions to address the proliferation of drugs, including law enforcement to combat trafficking. It is pertinent to remind the House that prior to 2014, several requests were made for the setting up of a commission of inquiry on drug trafficking, but the then government did not take any action. Mr. Speaker, sir, it was only in 2015, under the leadership of Sir Anirudh Jagnnath, the then Prime Minister, that the Commission of Inquiry on Drug Trafficking, with former Judge Paul Lam Shang Ling as chairperson, was set up. As a follow-up to the report of the Commission of Inquiry on Drug Trafficking, published in July 2018, a ministerial committee was constituted under my chair, and another committee was set up under the chair of the Secretary to Cabinet and Head of Civil Service to look into the legal, institutional, and administrative issues and to expedite the implementation of the recommendations contained in the report of the Commission of Inquiry. The National Drug Secretariat of my office, which has, inter alia, the responsibility to coordinate the implementation of the National Drug Control Master Plan 2019-2023, took over this responsibility as from March 2020. As at date, over 80% of the 390 recommendations, including Rodriguez, have been addressed. I also wish to remind the House that for the period January 2015 to May 2023, more than 25,345 drug cases have been detected and around 22,000 persons arrested. Regarding drug seizures, the estimated street value of drugs seized stood at almost 15 billion rupees for the same period. The huge seizure of drugs by the police demonstrates the sustained and successful crusade of my government in the combat against drug trafficking and drug use. Mr. Speaker, sir, we all agree that our police force has a vital role to play in maintaining law and order, in protecting lives and property of all our citizens. Our police force has a glorious history and has served the country well for more than 250 years of its existence. It certainly faces huge challenges due to changes in the policing environment, and it has to change and adapt to the new realities and exigencies. And it is our duty to facilitate this transition such that the police can continue to deliver on its mandate in an efficient and effective manner. Our police force comprises more than 15,000 men and women, the large majority of whom are discharging their duties with dedication and professionalism, and are thus maintaining both safety and security, which are so vital for our socio-economic development. It is therefore disheartening to see some people in the media and in the opposition ready to seize every opportunity to discredit the police force and are bent on sapping the morale of the whole police force by their irresponsible comments. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm not saying that we should tolerate or condone any misconduct on the part of any brebis galeuse. As I said earlier, the Commissioner of Police has already ordered an investigation into this matter, and severe action will be taken in accordance with the regulations in force should the inquiry reveal any incriminating evidence against any officer for any unlawful act. Mr. Speaker, sir, the protection of our citizens remains one of our major priorities. This government will, therefore, devote all the necessary resources required to provide modern security logistics, equipment, infrastructural facilities on land and sea to maintain peace and order in our territory. We, as a nation, have the capacity and capabilities to achieve that objective. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has taken 22 minutes or more, but he has given a lot of information. But I hope now, that from now on, he sticks to short answers that we can get through what the public is expecting outside. And that is absolutely true. Now, so far as the investigation is concerned, I understand, therefore, that the MCIT is in charge of the investigation, part itself of police headquarters. How can we expect police headquarters to investigate another unit called the Police Headquarters Special Striking Team directly under the control of the Commissioner of Police? How can we expect an impartial inquiry in this case? And this is the reason why I am suggesting a foreign team to assist.
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, as the Honourable Leader of the Opposition has mentioned in his PNQ himself, these are, at this stage, only allegations. Now, the allegations that have been made in terms of an affidavit that has been sworn by somebody who has been arrested with so much drugs, worth about, I have mentioned, I think more than 155 million rupees, must be taken also with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying, and I'm not already passing any judgment right now about those allegations. Whether they are true, whether they are false, it's only when there is a preliminary investigation that will be carried out. And I've said in my answer, when there is a time that will come, it will be passed on, of course, to the Independent Police Complaints Commission for them there to take over and to inquire further.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not pronouncing myself on the culpability or not of Mr. VS. That is for the court to decide. But surely the Prime Minister doesn't expect informers or whistleblowers on the ADSU and the drugs to come from the local parish priest. It must come, obviously, from some people who are knowledgeable about the circuit. I'd like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister now concerning one allegation is that Mr. JSC, alias Mr. F, Mr. Franklin, he apparently enjoys protection from certain senior officers of ADSU, and I would ask the Prime Minister, I remind the Prime Minister of my PNQ of some time ago, where it was clearly stated that the ADSU inquiry on Mr. Franklin started 7 years ago, without any serious charge being put to him. So I would ask the Prime Minister whether that itself doesn't merit some serious inquiry, which it cannot be carried out by police headquarters itself.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in all cases, there are going to be serious inquiries. Now, it has become a habit lately that every suspicion of drug trafficking, every person who has been arrested, it has become a habit to say now that there has been planting. It has become a habit now to accuse the police officers, those same people who have arrested those alleged drug traffickers, to now say that the police themselves have been planting those drugs. If we have to go according to what the Honourable Leader of the Opposition is saying, we will have to hand over practically all cases of drug trafficking to different foreign persons to investigate. Where do we start? Where do we stop? In the case you mentioned, the case of Franklin, it has been the same thing. In the case of Bruno Lorette, it's the same thing. And I don't want to mention every time now, every day we see somebody being arrested, planting. We will see how far they will go in terms of planting. But we can't go on like this. And then we say, let's ask somebody from abroad to come and investigate. We will have to retain, I don't know, it will have to be another police force from abroad who is going to investigate into all those cases.
Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, the people at large believe what is being told on planting because there's very little trust in the police, as confirmed by Afrobarometer recently. Now, I'd like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister, we are talking about police officers, supposedly on this cassette, on this recording. Would he advise the CP to offer these police officers conditional immunity so that they may speak freely about what they know and they're not afraid of for their own selves?
First of all, Mr. Speaker, sir, I cannot speak for what the people believe. I don't know what the people believe. What I believe is what I see, what I have. And as I can say, comme un juriste, I believe in evidence, and I believe in serious information that comes before me so that action can be taken. Now, the leader of the opposition is saying that, well, there are those allegations, as if, I hope you're not meaning, you do not mean that. Allegations are allegations. Now, if I can refer to, because you are saying, well, we should dismantle this striking team and so on. You know, if I can quote one person who has been an assessor on the Commission of Inquiry on the Drug Trafficking, Mr. Sam Lawton, and I think he is not a friend of ours, he's not a member of our party, so he, and Mr. Speaker, sir, in an interview in L'Express of the 9th of March 2023, this is what he has to say, and it's good. The question was put by Mrs. Tuya Prayag. The question was, coming back to the recommendations, one of the most striking one was the dismantling of the anti-drug and smuggling unit. As you know, not only didn't that happen, but the Prime Minister went out of his way to congratulate them for the fantastic work they are doing. Do you feel that was a slap on the Commission's face? That was the question. And the reply from Mr. Sam Lawton, well, I don't want to quote other things. The main thing, it is good that you mentioned the special striking team. Many people, including journalists, think there is a conflict of interest between them and the rest of ADSU. In fact, we need to have this sort of team. You know, the mafia uses guns, violence, and so on. We need people who have the guts to counteract that. I personally would go further and say that I wish to see at least 10 such striking teams all over the island to reinforce the efficiency of the ADSU vis-à-vis the mafia. This is what he says. Somebody who is, let me finish, somebody who is really independent, and I must say who has been quite critical to government also. This is what he has to say with regard to the special striking team.
The Prime Minister should table when he's quoting from the press. He knows that. Yes, he didn't table. Table the article, not your paper. Now,
you can table the article.
That should be done. Firstly, Mr. Speaker, does the Prime Minister know that Seychelles has had huge problems with drugs too, and that recently it restructured its police force to better cope with the situation with the help of the US? And here I'm coming to the Lam Shamling report that was quite adamant on the need, for various reasons I don't have time to go into, on the dismantling of the ADSU, and which I must say is confirmed by what we hear on that cassette. And, Mr. Speaker, to finish on that, is the Prime Minister aware that one foreign embassy, the ambassador thereof, has been seeking a meeting with the Commissioner of Police for the last few months to offer advice and help, and has not, at the moment, the Commissioner of Police has not had time to receive that ambassador. So therefore, why don't we take the example of our brothers in Seychelles and show also that we mean business in respect of the drug scourge.
I don't know which ambassador the honourable leader of the opposition is talking. I think we should be more careful not to bring in ambassadors, diplomats into our, differences if we have. I don't think we have differences on this issue because we all want to fight against this drug scourge. But Mr. Speaker, sir, let me say one thing. Allegations, against persons in authority, against particularly police officers, and especially those who are specialized in fighting against drug traffickers, is not only limited to Mauritius. Everywhere you have the same situation. And I must say, everywhere you have situation where there are officers in authority who are accomplices, who become, in fact, for whatever reason, of course, I leave anyone to guess, become un accomplice avec ces trafiquants de drogue. And I don't need to mention a number of cases, because the Honourable Leader of the Opposition is asking us to seek assistance from reputed countries, which, like France. Let me mention just a few cases in France. 6 policiers de la brigade anticriminalité du 18e arrondissement sont accusés d'arrestations frauduleuses, de rackets de dealers, ou encore d'avoir... You put a question, let me answer. You want to answer? You want to control my answer?
Order.
I don't control
Leader
your
of the
question, Leader of the Opposition. Let me answer. I don't mind why. If time is given, I will reply. Yeah, for me, I have no problem. But give me time, let me reply. So, racket de dealers, ou encore d'avoir rédigé des procès-verbaux fallacieux. Un monsieur, KM, agent de la brigade anticriminalité depuis plus de 15 ans, est accusé d'avoir été la figure centrale d'une vaste affaire de corruption et de trafic de stupéfiants. Another case. L'ex-patron des stupes mis en examen. Patron des stupes, s'il vous plaît. Mis en examen pour trafic de drogue. Monsieur FT a été mis en examen pour complicité de détention, transport et acquisition de stupéfiants et complicité d'exportation de stupéfiants en bande organisée. Another case. More recent. Un capitaine et un brigadier affectés à la brigade des stupes de la police judiciaire ont été mis en examen jeudi à Paris pour le vol de plusieurs kilos de cocaïne dans les scellés. This is French cases. There are others. I don't want to cite so many of them. In Marseille right now. I hope you also follow. Okay, good. Because even this morning, the French news, they are in fact reporting about the terrible situation that is existing in certain arrondissements in Paris and the connection in Marseille where there are gangs fighting and shooting. So now, The Guardian of 14 February 2022 speaks about a senior Metropolitan Police commander who wrote his force current drug strategy, faces the sack after being accused of taking cannabis, LSD, and magic mushrooms. And it is not limited only to those countries. We have 6 metropolitan officers. I'm quoting from the Economic Times, 18th of October 2022. 6 metropolitan police officers were high on narcotics while working recently. Last year, 2 cops tested positive for cannabis while on duty, while 2 more failed tests for ingesting Class A cocaine. And as per reports, another Met officer had evidence of opiates in the system, including morphine, and the 6th officer had residues of benzodiazepines and amphetamines in the system. And according to the FOI data, 16 officers in England and Wales failed drug tests while being on duty in the previous year. In the United States, Mr. Speaker, sir, the headline of New York Times, America has lost the war on drugs. 22nd of February 2023, this year, in February, America has lost the war on drugs. Drug use is soaring. More Americans are dying of overdoses than at any point in modern history. So let us be, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that because these are happening elsewhere, that it should happen here. No. What I'm saying is, first of all, we have to wage a serious, a genuine war against those drug traffickers. And I note also, of course, that those countries, wherever we can get assistance, wherever we can get, of course, any assistance that will improve our force, our system, the way we do inquiry and so on. Of course, we need to tap from those expertise. But it is, as I have always said, it is the will of government. You must, first of all, have the will to combat drug trafficking. Unlike the period of 2005 to 2014, where I have stated there was not really any will. In fact, the contrary happened. The traffickers were tolerated, ils ont été soutirés, et ils ont vraiment, they have in fact expanded in terms of their business. And this is why we have inherited such a situation, but we are carrying on with this fight, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Prime Minister will not forget that it was DPM in 2015. I think it was Minister of ICT. So we're all together also in this issue. Should not forget that. I want to ask the Prime Minister now whether he's aware, and NGOs tell me, in fact, that the price of drugs, price of heroin, for instance, is falling, which would mean that supply is exceeding demand. Other things are a bit more difficult, but heroin is falling, for instance. Therefore, that would mean, Mr. Speaker, that despite the famous seizures that we see every day, none of which get to court, by the way, to be convicted, that has been proven in one of the last PNQ, only 3 out of 120. So the situation is dramatic. And therefore, I'm saying to the Prime Minister that these tapes, whether true or not, I cannot say, but these tapes are a wonderful occasion for the Prime Minister to seize on that. Because for the first time we have it, not in writing, but audio, that these things are happening with names, events, etc. This is why I'm asking the Prime Minister to take it extremely seriously, and we cannot rely on the police headquarters to investigate police headquarters, to ask for foreign help, not in 1,000 cases, but in that particular case where, for the first time, as far as I know, we have such direct evidence of wrongdoing in the police.
Monsieur le Président, encore une fois, je commence à croire que le leader de l'opposition est convaincu maintenant de ce qui est allégué, contrairement à sa question lui-même. These are allegations, and I repeat, I cannot pass any judgment on those allegations. I cannot right now conclude that the allegations are true or are false. And let me remind the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to be careful and learn from past lessons. You know, if I can draw somehow let's say, an example. We all remember when there were fierce allegations against myself by one Maharaja. Remember? The Maharaja came with a pen drive and said, look, the evidence is here. And that the government would fall in the days to come. There's going to be a tsunami, you know, and this Maharaja met the leader of the Labour Party, met the leader of the opposition, you know, and after their respective meetings, the Maharaja said, well, he had a very fruitful meeting with the leader of the Labour Party, Dr. Navin Ramgoolam, and that there's going to be a tsunami. The leader of the opposition, I hope your memory is going to be refreshed. When you yourself, stated, this is a credible person. You said, this is a credible person, you know. Now, no, I'm not blaming you. What I'm saying is we must learn from lessons. So, you said he's a credible person. Look, is what is happening today. Where's his credibility? And I say, what we have seen today, what we are seeing in terms of the investigation that are revealing certain things, this is nothing. This is nothing. The people will be shocked when all the truth will come out, you know. So don't pass any instant judgment on allegations that are made. I agree with you, allegations, I fully agree with you, must be investigated. Must be investigated in an independent way so that there are no collusion, there are no covering up. And I have, of course, discussed the matter with the Commissioner of Police in regard with this matter. And I can assure you, and I can assure the House, that investigation will be done thoroughly. And if need be, we will see how it is unfolding, and therefore, you know, action will be taken. Let me just also add one thing, because we are talking about some people who were part of the ADSU team. I must say that some have already been transferred. They have already been transferred from ADSU to, of course, other unit of the police force. So, I'm not saying that they are guilty. I'm not saying that, but of course we take the precaution. The Commissioner of Police has acted himself. He has transferred some people, and investigation, I can assure you, will be done.
Time over. I have already given 12 more minutes. These are allegations. You understand these allegations. 12 more minutes I've already given. Time over. Motion.
Voilà, donc pour la PNQ de Xavier Duval adressée au Premier ministre, donc il est clair, Jean-Luc Emile et Jagdish Joypal qui là-dessous avec SST, pas pour démanteler, SST, Premier ministre PD fin créé pour soutenir là-dessous, et c'est la MCIT qui fait enquête l'aube en allégation qui fin fait vendredi.
Bon, dire aussi deux mots, me choqué et surpris de la réponse du Premier ministre. Moi, j'attends qui prenait le type de réponse et non pas venir renvoyer la balle à la presse qui veut venir discréditer la police. Moi, pour dire plus que ça, I rest my case parce que en tant que journaliste, 25 ans dans la presse, c'est qui fait une vie devant l'opinion publique tellement choquant et qui gagne une réponse comme ça du chef du gouvernement, faut pas qu'on nous parle quelque chose plus que ça.
Donc, Jagdish Joypal, le Premier ministre, pas fin répondre à une question. Au contraire, il fait le tour de la question. Il plus Aldo case la drogue. Donc, ce qui nous comprend, c'est qu'il nous pas pour une l'aide de ban pays étrangers pour venir aider nous dans cette enquête-là. Donc, pour lui, saisir cette allégation et qu'il fin dire qu'il MCIT peut enquêter, il fin cause avec CP par rapport à cela et par la suite, une action qu'il peut prendre.
Alors, le mot allégation, il y en a tout seul l'importance dans la réponse que le Premier ministre peut donner. Donc, il n'y a rien de vrai là à ce stade, mais seulement les confirmer qu'il peut bien faire une enquête indépendante autour de cette allégation-là, les besoins de commissaire de police pour guetter, alors dans quel moyen, comment pour opérer. Et il fait faire, comment dire, un rappel de la situation qui fait qu'il en arrive à ce stade. C'est après arrestation d'un cas, l'enquête de saisie d'héroïne pour une valeur de 155 millions de roupies. Donc, ça fait faire depuis le 3 mai 2023. Alors là, c'est Xavier Duval qui fait nous les et qui, le Premier ministre, au moins, profite de l'occasion de sa tape, de sa pen drive, de l'enregistrement qui est là pour faire une enquête plus approfondie et c'est-à-dire sollicite l'aide étrangère de pays étrangers comme l'Angleterre, la France, l'Amérique, donc pour capable aller de l'avant pour qu'il y ait une enquête tout à fait indépendante. Mais là, le Premier ministre, de manière assez étonnante, peut prouver que la police en France, certains officiers eux-mêmes, ils ont impliqués, ils ont pu arrêter, ils ont impliqués dans connexion avec trafiquant la drogue. Ils mentionnent la situation à Paris, à Marseille. Les sites Le Guardian pour référer à un cas qui finit arrivé. Il dit en Amérique, la bataille de la drogue est perdue. Les Américains ont perdu la bataille de la drogue. Donc, pour lui, il n'est pas absolument nécessaire, noir, dans sa direction avec un pays étranger, parce qu'il Maurice, d'après lui, la comparaison, nous pas encore d'un état vraiment de désespoir. Mais seulement, Xavier Duval, il fait mention qu'il est Seychelles, que vraiment, le problème de la drogue, il est sérieux, et là, les Seychelles profitent de la collaboration, de la coopération des États-Unis pour donc démanteler le réseau de drogue et donc capable de contenir la situation. Alors, le Premier ministre peut dire « All cases will have serious inquiries ». Mais seulement reste sa question de est-ce que la police capable d'enquêter la police? C'est le Major Crime Investigation Team et qui pour enquête, pour faire ça l'enquête approfondie là, après qui, c'est-à-dire la police pour officiellement en présence du côté de la presse, quand Ambroise Dubox et Jean-Luc Oufine participent dans le programme, et Ambroise Dubox déjà est convoqué au caserne centrale, il pourrait mettre une copie.
Je m'interromps. Comme écoute la PNQ, la réponse du Premier ministre, j'ai le sentiment qu'il n'a pas fait une même guette émission là, il pas connu le contenu de la bande, parce que le Premier ministre pas dire un mot. L'eau, c'est qui ça va dire moun la pédie. Ça va dire moun là, c'est pas moi, c'est pas de l'opposition. Ce sont des policiers qui font un travail avec ça va dire moun là, qui peut donner ban aveu l'opération qui ne passe. Un policier vient dire où il fait donc saisi un arme et il trouve ça au journal, les hommes là fin arrêté, fin se discuter le dimoun et le Premier ministre pénal non pour dire par rapport à ça, il vient dire nous qui nous bien comprend qu'il a assisté ce rôle, c'est donc améliorer la qualité d'un coup de main là-dessous. Mais comment ça fait comme ça, peut dire l'ON unité, peut dire l'ON l'équipe, moi j'attends d'un Premier ministre, moi, qui de sa PNQ, il vient dire, mais ça m'a dit, mon là, mais de côté, pour qu'une enquête fait, même si nous comprenons pas aucun organisme indépendant qui pourra l'enquêter, quand il finit connaît si la délégation l'a fondée, qui pourra envoyer ça à IPCC, nous connaissons très bien l'issue de tout l'enquête qui arrive à IPCC. Donc, là qui probablement IPCC pour enquêter, mais la valeur du jour, comment l'enquête va dérouler dans la sérénité, quand tout ça va dire, qui peut citer là-dedans, encore en poste. Le Premier ministre, par cause non, il peut insister sur le fait qu'il y ait une allégation. Mais nous connaissons très bien, dans certains cas, Bandimoun fait une allégation, fait arrêter, finit traîner devant la cour, et Bandimoun, une simple allégation, fait une perte de poste de ministre, ça aussi finit là. Et donc, le Premier ministre vient dire, tout le monde a cause, un habit qui est développé, qui cause de planting. Mais finalement, dans le cas de John Brown, et qui finit montrer devant la cour, finit une vidéo qui arrive à tenir aucun sac de la même M. John Brown. Nous d'accord, nous dire qu'il y a un trafiquant de drogue, bizarre être condamné, bizarre arrêté, bizarre sévir contre tout le monde trafiquant. Mais c'est mort, il y a un système, il y a un moyen d'opérer la police, bien opérer dans un cadre. Donc, quand le Premier ministre vient dire qu'il tout cas planting, finalement une vidéo qui finit montrer, donc Bandimoun finit libéré par la cour parce que justement, ça va une preuve, là, finit devant la justice. Donc, moi, franchement, je suis bien déçu de cette réponse du Premier ministre.
Et la question de Xavier Duval, c'était est-ce qu'il prenait l'enquête, ça m'a l'allégation là, Xavier aussi fait mention d'allégation, et si anti-drug, c'est-à-dire ADSU et SST, Special Striking Team, pour démanteler, mais là, il est clair, parce que le Premier ministre fait un hommage à sa bande officielle,
c'est un soutien officiel que le Premier ministre peut accorder.
À sa bande organisation, bande département de la police, pour dire que ça fonctionne convenablement, qu'il y a 15 000 la police qui est là en poste, et ils peuvent faire ce travail de manière honnête, mais seulement, là, la question de démantèlement, là, il est clair que le Premier ministre peut dire, si tu démantèles en-dessous, après la commission d'enquête, et l'âme sanguine, donc ça tu peux créer un certain vide dans la police, tu peux créer un certain vacuum, un flottement. Alors là, nous retrouvons dans une situation que la police continue comment il était, mais nous pouvons suivre au niveau de l'enquête. Ensuite, il fait allusion aux police complaints, IPCC. Alors si jamais après qu'il finit et trouve certaines responsabilités, c'est IPCC qui peut continuer donc le travail. Et là, nous connaissons finalement une question de brutalité policière.
ouais.
Finalement, beaucoup l'enquête et ensuite tout fin die down. Nous pas connaître combien d'officiers transférés qui finit le résultat, the outcome, comment nous dire. Et là, nous reste toujours sur le suivi d'une telle situation qui préoccupe énormément l'opinion publique.
Donc voilà, merci au fin suivez-nous. C'est la fin de cette partie de la PNQ qui au fin suivre avec nous. Me donne rendez-vous pour cet après-midi à 17h pour l'émission Au cœur de l'info. Nous pourrons revenir dans toute cette question. Et d'un petit moment, donc dans 30 minutes, vous pourrez trouver Elodie Domon pour un point en l'actualité.